Hello everyone, and welcome to DN Digital's Starships and Scoundrels campaign. My name is Dave, and I'll be your game master. We're using the Star Wars 5e system to tell the story of a crew of a smuggling freighter known as the Mayday, set about a year after the fall of the Jedi Order. Each session is going to be going live on Wednesdays around 3 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure to subscribe, click that bell, do all those YouTube things, and tune back in next week for more action. With all that out of the way, let's get into it.
Last time on Starships and Scoundrels, the crew of the Mayday peacefully traveled through hyperspace after the trials and tribulations of Kamino. They soon reached the Ison system and found and reconnoitered a hidden imperial research station. Their old foe, Moff Renz, had reached the station before them with his imperial light cruiser and accompanying TIE fighter unit. Feeling that a direct assault would end in certain death, they allowed the ship to be captured via tractor beam, landing them in the hangar with a small squad of Stormtroopers approaching to take their new captives. And we return now to the crew of the Mayday as all but Drawde and Lynn remain hidden inside of the ship's smuggling compartments. Well, most of you, as Harry is still hiding inside of one of the ship's space coffins. The grunginess of the Mayday stands in stark contrast to the pristine, gleaming condition of Renz's ship. Drawde, you can see out of the Mayday's cockpit that there are about a dozen troopers marching in formation towards your ship, blaster rifles at the ready.
I'll quietly say to Lynn, alright, so his focus is probably going to be a lot on me, but if you get an opportunity to get into their systems and get what you need in terms of their research, I highly suggest you take the opportunity.
I will if the opportunity presents itself.
Ready to get manhandled, as it were?
Ready as one can be, I suppose.
And he'll just stand there. He'll go to basically the inner end of the boarding ramp and just put his hands up.
All right, so you and Lynn are waiting at the top of the ramp, right?
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to say, I would like to slip my pistol down into the compartment with R5.
R5, you suddenly see the compartment open up and just hear this clanking of a pistol dropping down next to you. You've been figured out, run!
And then I'll leave my vibro saber in my quarters. So then after that, I go to the end of the ramp and I just assume the I surrender position.
Yeah, Lynn mirrors that. I mean, she never really looks like that much of a imposing figure anyway, just not really how Kaminoans look. But yeah, so you see these troopers approaching. They all level their blasters towards you, and you hear one of them call out, "All right, come on out. Keep your hands where we can see them."
Yep, he will slowly descend the ramp.
So the first one walks up to you and is like, "Okay, you got any weapons on you? Both of you?"
He just looks at Lynn. I ain't got any weapons. You got any weapons?
"No, I am not much of one for carrying things to do harm." He's like, "All right, fine. I'll be the judge of whether that's true or not. Boys, move in." And a couple of the troopers come in and start basically like frisking you both, trying to like pat you down, make sure you don't have any weapons. And yeah, they at least find none on Lynn. Do you have any weapons on you, or should I even bother rolling?
Dude, there's a vibro dagger I forgot about, but oh well.
Okay, they will do a quick little, let's have them do an investigation, see how they do. Yeah, they roll high enough, they're able to find it. Just like, no weapons, I see.
It's not a weapon, it's a multi-tool.
Mm-hmm. All right, bind them up. And they'll, unless if you do anything to resist, they'll just slap some binders on you, both. And it's like, all right, Renz wants them on the station. Move them out. You six, get on there. Start doing a security sweep. And half of them will turn and kind of get in formation around the two of you and start guiding you out of the hangar. And then the other 6 of them go up the ramp and start searching around inside of the ship. Everybody inside, you hear the sounds of food, like boots marching around and quickly. Like you can hear stuff getting kind of tossed around. Standard flip the place, trying to make sure there isn't anything hidden. And then as they check, they fall way, way short of the minimum of 22 that you guys had from last week. So after a minute, you don't actually notice them stomping around as much anymore. Generally sounds like at least a few boots have left the area. Anybody who wants to that's inside the ship can give me a perception check if they want to try to hear for what's going on.
Okay. I would like to do that.
Sense it?
You can sense that they're moving, but it doesn't necessarily make it so you can hear what they're saying, I guess. Unless it's something that lets you hear. Yeah, this is more like you can see that there are bodies. You can see a couple of them have started to leave. But yeah, this is more just literally can you hear what they're saying to each other.
So would I get anything with a 50? Ooh, that's Granny rolled higher, but...
Do you just normally have advantage, Sam, on perception?
No, I don't know why it was toggled on. I didn't even... It's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay. Either way, so yeah, H4, you aren't really able to pick up on what they're saying, but R5 and Granny, you can hear them. And they're basically like, they're leaving 3 of them behind just to kind of keep doing some casual searching. And they've sent the other 3 outside to go get more of a technical crew in there. Sounds like they're going to start basically checking the ship for anything valuable and scrapping it, is their plan. So after pretty quickly, we'll go with where Lynn and Drawde are being led first before we jump back to you all. Unless if you guys that are hiding want to do something immediately in reaction to that going on.
I mean, just wait until it's all quiet and then make our move from there.
That's kind of counter to our plan, though, because our plan is to release a Wookiee into the hangar.
Oh.
Our carefully laid master plan is coming apart at the first step.
That's how we
Literally
This is about how I expected it to go.
Literal first contact with the enemy. Okay, so, but let's follow Drawde and Lynn for a sec while the rest of you figure out when you want to do something. So the troopers that are leading the 2 of you out of the hangar, they keep you moving at a fairly brisk pace. One of them occasionally will kind of give you a little nudge with the butt of their rifle, even though you're moving at a reasonable speed. They're just dicks like that. And you see as you get to the hangar door, or the door into the hangar, I should say, you would expect them to kind of take you either, probably to your left would be where the bridge of the ship is, if they were taking you there, or the brig. But you did hear him mention that they were supposed to take you directly onto the station. So they actually just keep you walking straight through to where the other port is on the far side. And takes but a minute or two, and they already have you at the far door. You just see most of the troops aren't even on that high of alert. There's just people kind of standing around doing their jobs. They don't seem too concerned.
How many of them are how closely are they looking at me?
The troops, the ones that are actually escorting you are generally keeping an eye. It's a little hard to tell through Stormtrooper helmets how closely they're actually looking.
Yeah.
But they're you can tell occasionally they'll kind of look away from just the path ahead, and will kind of give you a once over and then get back to marching you along.
Can I try to discreetly use my wrist pad to activate one of the empty escape pods?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. I would like to use a fate point on this one.
All right. That'll bring you all down to 5.
It's a good thing. 11.
All right.
Let's see if that worked.
Believe it or not, that was a 5 on the dice, so that did actually work on their roll. So yeah, you are able to just very quickly and discreetly like flip your hand over and just kind of like flick one button. You had it nice and queued up as just like a little hotkey, and suddenly one of the definitely empty escape pods just rockets out. You hear the and just the sound of suddenly people panicking behind you.
He will just snap his head to where the pod landed, as attempting to act as surprised as everybody else.
I would say none of them are really focused on you at the moment in that way, so you don't even need to do a deception check. They're just there's like, what the hell is going on?
Cool.
And everybody inside the Mayday is able to hear the sound of an escape pod getting launched off. And then you do hear pretty quickly the sound of like an alarm siren going in the hangar. None of you currently have visual line of sight on what's going on in there, actually. But yeah, so that goes off. And then one of the troops that's escorting you, you see him like pull the comm link off of his belt and just is checking in like, all right, got something going on back there. What's the status? As they hold you up and you wait for a moment and then they're like, all right, confirmed. We'll keep taking them inside. But you do hear more boots starting to make their way towards the hangar at the moment.
Something going on with my ship.
Not your ship anymore, scum.
What? Figured I could offer some insight, but if you want to be rude about it, that's fine.
Give me a persuasion check.
That's a 8.
Sure is. How do I roll that much? I rolled a 2 that time.
Oh boy.
He pauses and like holds his hand up to the other troops. He's clearly the leader of the group. He's like, all right, start talking.
What happened? I can't explain if I don't know what happened.
Sounds like that pile of garbage that you've been flying around malfunctioned. Does it normally shoot escape pods out into the hangar like that?
Oh yeah, no, that is a problem. That can happen. Don't worry about it. It's not anything dangerous. Just, you men should probably not put themselves in the direct line of fire for any of them until they've all ejected. It's a known bug.
I would say you could tell he's you can almost feel that he's squinting at you through the helmet, but it's a helmet, so you can't see his eyes. He's like,
Look,
yeah, that one give me a deception check.
I'm not advertising this is the best ship in the galaxy.
Give me a deception check at advantage, because you've been succeeding in deceiving them pretty well so far.
Oh, wow. That's a dirty 20.
All right, fine. The sooner we get that piece of scrap thrown out into space, the better, if you ask me. All right, get him moving. And he'll kind of give you another nudge with the butt of his rifle, just indicating towards the space station.
I'm friendly.
Right.
It's fine.
And then you were already pretty close to the airlock going into the station. And just a moment later, the doors open. They guide you into it's fairly crowded to have 8 people inside of this airlock, but you're able to get in well enough. And then it, closes, repressurizes, opens again to let you all proceed further in. The station, unlike most Imperial facilities that you would have encountered, or just even when it was Republican days, is in a far worse shape of it's in a bit of disrepair compared to what you'd normally expect it to be. It still has that kind of classic light gray color scheme going on, but more of the lights are kind of flickering. There's various little rust patches that have formed around. There's kind of just these little sparkles of dust that you see floating around in the air as you walk. Doesn't seem toxic, just seems like a lot of inactivity, and only recently have people been doing anything here. And it opens up into none of the rooms that you'll encounter in this space station at this point are big. It's kind of just a series of hallways. Looks like it goes down to a T junction. Well, not a T, a 4-way junction. And you can see the hallway kind of leading off in either to your left and your right and forward. Various small doors kind of branching off each way. But unlike on the Imperial cruiser, you don't see a lot of people moving. And they'll keep kind of gesturing you just straight ahead. Seems like you're heading towards the center of the station. You guys hear the sound of, like I said earlier, it's like you kind of just hear a couple feet shuffling around. And then before a little bit, you hear slower, kind of less urgent footsteps making their way onto the ship. And after a moment, you hear a very large thud as it seems like something heavy got dropped onto the floor. Are y'all just going to keep waiting to see what happens, or?
Does it sound like there are more or less people in here than before?
Sounds like it's about the same amount as what the amount that came first on. So you figure there's about 6 people on board.
Were we all hidden in the same spot?
No, it's like a series of compartments throughout the floor. It's like 2 people to a box, basically.
You just hear Harry whispering, "Now's not the time to be nervous. You got this. You can do this."
Okay, so is there a signal that you're waiting for to jump out of the smuggling compartments, or?
Yeah, we're going to wait until we hear Harry ejected. Take a moment to let the
Chaos.
whoever's on the... Yeah, to let the crew on here be distracted by the chaos. If not drawn outside, at least confused by what's happening.
Okay.
And then spring.
Then in that case, we'll go ahead and jump back over to Drawde and Lynn at this point. They'll keep marching you in. You get to what looks like kind of a much taller wall. It suddenly like expands. The route, like the hallway goes to kind of this one's actually like a T junction, like, a T. And okay. The ceiling goes way higher here all of a sudden, extends off, not quite out of field of view, but you can see it tops out at a much higher height. That's a dumb way of saying that, but I said it. So, and then they just like nudge you off to the left. You see that there's a very large door at the end of this hallway where the T goes to, but they're not quite leading you there.
Oh, we're going left, I see. Good decision.
Mm-hmm. One more of those, and I don't care what directions I've been given. You're getting a smack in the head. And pretty soon you'll see a door in the hallway that once again turns off to the left, and they'll lead you right up to it, and then they'll just open up. It clearly was somebody's office when this station was under proper operational procedures. And you see just sitting behind the desk, kind of like kicked back in his chair, Moff Renz, just looking at you. It's like, it's about time. Men, put them in chairs. And they'll pull some chairs out from the side and put them in front of the desk and kind of roughly shove both you and Lynn down into the chairs to be seated in front of him.
He'll just look around the space, kind of size it up.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Okay.
Looking around.
God, what if I never get ejected?
14.
It looks like an office. You see he's clearly sitting at some kind of like access terminal built into the desk. He's got some stuff that he's looking at, but it's not pointed towards you.
You know, I didn't figure you for a door on the left sort of guy. I figured you'd be more of a straight down the hole kind of person.
Well, in a manner of speaking, I suppose that makes sense. But that place is reserved for more urgent things than what I need this room for. I don't plan on tarrying here too long anyway. So what damn fool idea brought you here in the first place? I am curious.
Well, I figured, you know, we've been at this game for a while now. You and I. I'll go somewhere, you chase me down, try to have me killed, I'll survive, you find out, you get, I assume, incredibly upset.
See his eye twitch a little bit, but then he regains his composure.
And then we start the cycle again. But, you know, it's getting tiring, and I figured at this point we might as well just see where this path leads us, just naturally. Brother.
repeat what you just said to me?
Oh, well, surely you'd recognize your own family.
You are not my family.
Oh, considering you're looking at your mum right next to me, I'd say we have a bit of a difference of opinion.
He just kind of eyes you and looks over at Lynn, back and forth. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Sweat that hoe.
Ooh, not as good. I'm going to use a fate point, if you don't mind.
I do not mind.
It's going to be worse. It's one better. 7.
It's one better. Not as good as his roll, though.
No.
How's it these foolish plans of yours get even more idiotic as time goes on, Drawde?
There's like 10% of me left in this thing anyway, so probably the part of me that was good at making plans, you went ahead and smashed with a Star Destroyer.
So it was worth it then, I suppose. You at least saved me the trouble of tracking you down this time. Much easier. It wouldn't have taken long, though. I finally have my final method of wiping you and your kind out of the galaxy. Just needs a little more finessing. Would you like a tour? Might as well have you be the first recipient.
Why don't you run me through the whole thing? I'd like to know how I die before I do it.
Now, guards, take them along to... let's start in the biolab, shall we?
And he'll start walking out of the door, and he actually turns left, keeps heading further away from that initial big door that you saw. And get further and further down before another door. The path starts to kind of curve a little bit. The further in you get, curving to your right. Looks like it'll probably loop back around and make kind of a weird... I'm trying to think of the right kind of fruit that would be that shape. Seems like it's probably going to ultimately form... I'm going to call it an acorn shape, where it's like, kind of flat on one end and kind of gets like narrower up towards the top, pointing towards the star itself. And then he guides you off, once again turning back away from that central area, and you see that there's a biolab in here that has been brought back up to some kind of standards. And there are a few imperial scientists sitting around messing with stuff, pouring various solutions into tubes and putting things into a what's it called? What's the
Centrifuge?
thing that spins? Yeah, centrifuge. That's the one. Thank you. Yeah, putting various things in there. It's like,
Looks like the formula is not quite perfected yet. I would like to wait until it is just right to administer it to you. Here, we will go and... Well, you were on Camino, were you not?
Yeah, were you not?
No, I most certainly did not descend onto that filthy planet. I don't know how you make water filthy, but they found a way.
Since we adventure this one, he looks over at Lynn.
she just kind of she kind of gives you like a look. Like, Well, I wish that I could disagree, but your imperial friends did find a way to make it a less pleasant place to live. He just looks at her. It's like,
Well, based on the abominations you were all creation, I can't say that it was a pleasant place to begin with. But anyway, you will be the first recipient of our new formula we are working on. Be much swifter. I may enjoy causing some pain, but I'd rather just have you be eradicated.
And, what exactly measures have you come up with to protect yourself from the eradicated?
It will not be the standard form of the disease, of course. Modified and mutated to the point where those who should live will be kept alive.
Right. And if one of those happens to be not worthy, and oh, that's right, you weren't on Camino. You didn't see what those things turned into, did you?
I have seen reports of the first outbreaks.
Reports. It's all reports with you, isn't it? Never want to get your hands dirty.
Much cleaner. Much better that way.
I faced them firsthand. I don't care how quick it is. If you're in a room with one of those things, I got one word of advice for you. Run.
You underestimate what can be accomplished with proper imperial ingenuity. When we removed the Kaminoans from the equation, everything began to operate much more smoothly. It will be more effective. The body shouldn't actually mutate at all, the cells should simply die.
It makes enough sense to me. And I presume you're one of these worthy people who's capable of surviving.
Don't feel I need to even answer such a stupid question.
Well, if I'm going to die anyway, I'd like to see for myself how worthy you are, if you'll indulge me.
And why would I do that?
I wouldn't want the man that I've been chasing for years to go to the afterlife thinking I was, what's the word? Oh, yes. Chicken shit.
I think after all these years, your foolish insults will goad me into making a stupid choice.
Oh, yeah, like they goaded you into dropping a Star Destroyer on a planet.
It was due for decommissioning anyway.
Justify, but behind it all, you're just scared.
The Emperor is the only one I need to prove my worth to. Now, that's enough time in this room. Guards, take them to the gun chamber. And they'll start escorting you back out, continuing the loop around. And while you're moving along, let's jump back to the Mayday, just to describe what's going on over there for you guys. So, minutes begin to pass. You're hearing flitting pieces of Drawde trying to antagonize Renz, succeeding to varying degrees depending on the moment. And soon that starts to get drowned out by the sound of basically power tools, drills, things like that, beginning to actually disassemble the Mayday from the inside. Pretty clear the sound that they're like ripping out anything that seems valuable at this point.
So who actually has access to launch Harry? Because if we're all just waiting for someone to do it.
Just
Drawde does. Harry actually does have control as well. It would be weird
Since he's
to not
inside
put
the
ejection
escape
controls
pod.
inside the escape pod, yeah. So Harry does. Technically, X2 is also still patched into the Mayday's system, so he also could initiate launching an escape pod.
I think that we're not going to wait here forever. Right now it seems to be only a technical crew. Perhaps we can surprise them and murder people?
Murder people, he ejects.
Well,
And suddenly,
There we go.
boom! As the escape pod with Harry inside of it just goes careening out of the side of the Mayday and just embeds itself directly into one of the walls. Even through the crazy sound, Harry, you hear something a little bit organic getting crunched as you go sailing by. Somebody did not heed the direction of don't stand in front of the jet engine. So,
oh dear.
do you immediately jump out as soon as it stops, or what do you do, Harry?
Yeah, I'm just gonna jump out.
All right, Harry jumps on out. You pop out of the escape pod and you look and you see probably, 20 various, a lot of them look more like standard crew, but you do see a scattering of stormtroopers around, various just kind of naval troopers, people in equipment, all turned directly staring right at you. And
let's go ahead and roll for initiative with that. Stuff is starting to go off. You all hear Harry verbally react, and then the sound of the other escape pod getting launched. Drawde, you even hear it coming in over the comms. At this point, it's far too loud coming over there to not be heard by anybody else nearby. But first up, we got Granny.
I assume Harry is more than 30 feet away at this point.
Yes.
All right. And does it sound like the Stormtroopers are still in the ship? Like they haven't?
Definitely sounds like whoever is inside the ship is starting to panic a little bit. Their footsteps are beginning to get far more like quick moving, kind of a lot of shuffling around, but they haven't really had time to do anything yet. So,
all right. Well, Granny is going to cast Valor on herself, R5, and Hunk, because those are the 3 people she can cast it on.
Alrighty then. It would then be Huntail's turn. Would be up next, actually. She looks and she will go ahead and open up the hatch to the one that she's in. For reference, anybody who's inside one, no action required to do that. You can just open it and pop out. And she is going to go ahead and take a shot at one of the guys in there that's with her, or one of the technical crew who are clearly not troopers, but she's going to shoot him anyway.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Damn,
then.
I like her even more.
All right, so
No
first,
witnesses.
No witnesses. This entire butt plug needs to be cleared of witnesses.
All right, so that's yeah, so that'll hit.
Well.
Okay, so that's 4 damage. So she at least takes a good chunk out of one of the troopers that is inside with you all. And she's going to kind of move into just like trying to find whatever she can to take cover inside. And on to Drawde. Yeah, so you hear it all starting to go off on the far side.
He'll just slowly put his hand to the back of his head and switch his comms from communication mode to jamming mode.
Okay.
Harry, where are you?
What's the range for that? I forget.
300-foot radius. There it is.
So yeah, you just hear like Renz just trying to, what have you done? And anything else you want to do?
I do not know what you're talking about. I have done nothing. Clearly, one of your men did something wrong on my ship, and they've gotten themselves into a right little mess.
All right, so we're going to go and move on to Harry now. Harry, like I said, you got quite a large number of people who have all turned their attention towards you. What do you want to do?
He's just going to Wookiee scream it, and then he's going to bonus action rage. And then he's just going to go up to the closest one to him and just attack.
All right, just start charging into the crowd. Whoever's closest is the first target. Give me an attack roll.
16.
That'll hit. Roll some damage.
For 12.
They take it. Well, that person you just cleave in half. So I guess they take it in a sense.
On to the next.
On to the next one.
Oh, 10.
Ooh, a 10 is not quite going to make it. Okay. You run up to the next stormtrooper who's nearby, and he just gets his blaster rifle in the way, like shivering, and just it's just at just the right angle where your axe just kind of glances off and doesn't quite make contact.
Protect me, gun!
He's just staring him down.
You can hear the sound of like his armor rattling as you run up at him.
Got this gun for personal defense.
That ends his turn.
Nice. H4.
Okay, do I break myself by opening up my container?
I mean, you won't be able to get out without ultimately breaking stealth, but you can get at least like an attack off from stealth before as part of the process if you want to do that.
Okay. So, yeah, he's good. The panel's gonna open. He's gonna pop out like a pinball, just like on a spring, just like, and then he's gonna. I don't know how many people I see. I don't know.
There is one actually conveniently standing right next to the panel where you just lifted it up.
I kind of imagine he's like midair and all 4 of his panels just pop out to hit whoever's around. So he's going to try and hit this person.
Oh yeah, you launch straight up just like a jack in the box basically, and you're just hovering in front of this person. Give me an attack roll.
Natural 20.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, go ahead and roll some damage on that one.
Don't know who you are, but you chose the wrong day to be underneath me. 14.
Yeah, no, this guy, you basically just hit him square in the nose and he just slaps against the far wall and just falls down to the ground.
Okay, so I have an extra attack and a bonus follow-up strike. Is there anybody within my
there's
speed?
there's 5 other ones in there that you can easily get to.
Okay, and these are all tech guys, or is there one that's like armored up?
There is one that's armored up. The rest all seem just like technicians.
Are the technicians armed at all, or
just the one stormtrooper came in armed? They thought they already did a security sweep of the place, so they were like, oh yeah, we can send the people who are not fighters in here to go do their job without issue. So yeah, it's just one stormtrooper who was left to kind of like oversee what was happening.
Okay, so then I will attack the stormtrooper. If I can reach him, there's not too many technicians in the way. Okay.
Easily, yeah. No, they're not clustered up. There's 2 of them that were working together on like trying to get a single panel off. But most of them just kind of spread out to like different spots and were like checking things. So you can very easily maneuver, especially as your tiny little ball droid body, you like weave through the legs of a couple of them and just like pop up right at the stormtrooper.
I kind of want to do a 6 Sonic move where I go like around.
Oh, hell yeah.
But no.
You can 100% do that. Just woohoo!
I presume it would be an action to tell X2 to like start firing the guns of the ship. If that's even
you can just yell it. It's not an action. You can just yell it.
Zictalu X2 fires the guns at anybody that is not us.
You got it, boss.
Never been called a boss before. Anyways, I'm gonna go slap the shit out of a stormtrooper.
Don't let it get to your head. You're not actually my boss. Yeah, go ahead and give it an attack roll.
Does not bother him at all. He does not. Does not
got
need to be a boss. Yeah, he does not need to be a boss. You know, I got friends coming up in this initiative. No, I don't. They're next. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use a fate point to try and attack the stormtrooper at advantage.
Yeah, go for it. I think it brings you guys down to a 3.
19 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
For 9 kinetic damage.
All right, takes it, but he's looks like he got his bell rung pretty good, but he's not quite down.
Okay. Then I'm going to do my follow unarmed strike, just a normal one. 24 to hit.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's going to be 8 kinetic damage.
Nice, that is enough, and that stormtrooper just gets dropped. He doesn't quite get like slammed into the wall like the unarmored person did, but it's just like a quick little 1-2, and he just drops to the ground.
But then I pivot back towards all the technicians, and I just open up a vent in my body, and it just kind of growls at them.
Very nice. All right, so on to their turn.
But question:
Yes.
Does X2 have a turn in the order, or is it just going to be like a on?
I am going
something?
to roll to see when that'll happen. Basically, 18.
That's great, which means oh no.
They still get their turn first, though.
Yeah.
I have been on the receiving end of rolling too well on initiative and getting punished for it too many times. All right, so it is their turn. So the remaining technicians are just turning and they're just booking it out. They're not on the ship for a fight. One of them would be have to pass within reach if you want to take an op attack. H4.
My primary objective is taking over. No witnesses, and I must punch.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You damn.
It's a 10. Oh no, I'm valorized. I get a D. Is it D4 or D6?
D4.
D6. Oh.
I only cast it at first level, not third.
That's okay.
So that's a 14 now.
Unfortunately, a 14 is not quite enough.
Okay.
You do
That's
catch
fair.
his ankle. You catch his ankle a little bit as he runs by and stumbles, but he's able to kind of get back up and not really take damage from it. Harry, you see just these. I think it's like 4 technicians left, just like booking it down the ramp, running as fast as they can away.
No witnesses. No witnesses.
No witnesses. But unfortunately, that does mean that all of the attention is on you.
Yeah, buddy.
So, yeah, they're just going to concentrate fire. And I'm going to need you to give me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Danger sense.
Yes. Oh, you very much see this coming.
Yeah.
You mean you can sense danger in this hangar full of stormtroopers?
15.
What?
What kind of special ability is this?
That platoon of stormtroopers just came out of nowhere. I think they were behind a bush or something.
15 succeeds, so you'll take half of this damage.
Ooh, bad.
All right, so
What type of damage?
this is going to be a damage that you will resist.
Perfect.
I think it's energy. Yeah, it's energy. It's blasters.
Yep.
All right, so then that'll be 36 halved to 18, then minus your damage reduction for all that.
Yeah, so it's halved again, right?
Oh, right, shoot, because of raging, you're right. Sorry, you're right. So 9 down to 7.
We lost Jackie somehow.
We lost to Jackie.
We got Jackie back.
And he's
I'm back.
So, yeah, you
minus
take 6 points of damage after having an entire hangar full of stormtroopers unload on you. So that's Harry in a nutshell, baby.
How is it quartered? I'm confused as to how it was quartered. I believe
I
it.
saved
Halved
the
for
deck
succeeding on a
save.
deck save, and then halved for his.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Danger sense, baby.
Whatever technicians there were that are non-fighters are just trying to clear out, and the stormtroopers are trying to form up into something resembling a front line, so that way they can at least try to guard and aim at all of you guys as you presumably will head out or do whatever you're going to do. That's it for them. R5.
Front line.
Yep. All right, I would like to burst out of my little hidey hole and see if there's a stormtrooper nearby to stab.
I mean, there's a stormtrooper's corpse nearby if you want to stab that, but everybody else is outside of the Mayday at this point.
Okay, so I'll head outside of the Mayday.
All right, you pop up and you just go rolling around at your super fast little astromech speed and go down the ramp, and you see a lot of enemies. I would say the closest to you is probably 40 feet away.
Okay.
Actually, the fleeing technicians are a little bit closer. They're probably only 20 feet away if you want to shoot a technician.
That I can do. So I'll.
No qualms. None. I love it. What
do I do? Shoot the one pointing a weapon at me, or the one's trying to run? I'm just gonna go ahead and. I'm sorry. What was that roll result? What was that roll?
That is a natural 20. So
I'm just gonna crit on the fleeing unarmed people.
Was that with
roll
your
that damage?
Was that with your blaster? Okay, that was with the blaster pistol, not the disruptor pistol that I dropped.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to hang on to the disruptor pistol, but this is just with the blaster.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that damage.
Oh, this poor bastard who just got assigned to the ship. That is 9 points of damage.
Well, actually, you technically were still hidden, so sneak attack would fire. So you can roll that.
Yeah.
Oh no!
They have a giant health pool, so you'll want to roll that. The 9 was going to kill the technician on his own. This is basically blasting. Yeah.
14 extra points of damage.
Oh yeah,
Why
it
don't
goes
you
right
that
through.
because you crit.
That's true.
Oh god, so that's 28 points.
Well, no, roll 4 more d6.
Yeah.
Double the dice.
Oh, okay. Double the dice.
It might be higher. It might be lower.
It'll probably be lower.
Yeah, it's lower.
It's lower.
That's still 24 points of damage total.
25. Well, no, it's 33 points of damage
33.
total.
Well, 33 as a yeah.
Yeah. Usually this isn't quite how it works for energy weapons. Usually it kind of hits a single target, disperses right there. You found a way to include stopping power into this pistol for this one moment, and the blaster just bolt goes right through the one guy and beams the other technician in the back of the head, and they both just like collapse onto each other on the ground.
Flash damage, baby.
God, who knew blaster fire could have...
No witnesses. R5 knows the rule.
That's fine. They were working for the Empire.
Wow.
All right, so yeah, you're on the ramp. What do you want to do from there?
Yeah, use the rest of my movement to get closer to the rest of the enemies.
All right, you're charging on ahead. Let's see. So that would probably put you at about 20 feet away from them, like from what's amounting to a front line, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over to Granny as we get back to the top of the order.
All right. Granny's gonna climb out of her hidey hole now that everyone in the ship has left or died.
Yep.
So she's gonna walk over to the ramp to hopefully see some enemies.
Little old lady slowly lifts herself up out of the smuggling compartment, just shuffles her way on over.
Oh, are we starting now? Wait for me.
Yeah, you definitely sense a very faint. A bunch of stormtroopers. Most of them are emanating a bit of a fairly faint red color. None of them are like strong with the Force, but definitely more on the evil leaning. Most of the technicians look pretty neutral. One guy actually looks surprisingly dark red for being not Force sensitive, but you sense that he's just not a good person. So yeah, you see them all out there. What do you want to do?
All right. Granny is going to cast Shock, and she's going to twin cast it so she can do it twice.
Oh.
Ooh, baby. Okay, ranged force attack. I assume just whichever one is. Are you going for one of the few remaining technicians, or are you going for a stormtrooper?
Technicians.
One of them's gonna be the one who looks especially evil, and the other one's just gonna be a random stormtrooper.
Okay, let's go ahead and pick which one you want to target first, and give me an attack roll.
All right, the especially evil one first.
All right.
Your first roll is at advantage, right?
Yeah, because you're heading. Yeah, you're heading that one. So.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Then
not that you need it, but fish for that crit.
Fish for the crit. Yeah. Not quite.
Oh, well.
Okay. Oh, do you have it set up where you're like manually flinging the mouse to throw the dice? Because your dice roll far faster than anybody else's do on my screen.
Oh yeah, I drag it like all the way across the screen too to get it to go as hard as I can.
Is that a thing?
It's the closest way to simulate throwing real dice as you can get while doing it digitally. So sounds like the best of both worlds. But either way, 28 very much hits. 28 hits. Roll the damage.
All right. Yeah. That is 8 lightning damage for the first guy.
Yeah, he's a technician. He just gets absolutely fried. Hear him just scream out. You even start to smell the sizzling of the various parts that I don't want to go into detail about. Sizzling from lightning strikes.
Does
He had a whole story. He had a backstory, but he's dead now.
Does the screen sound a bit like this?
Rip.
Yes.
I imagine his backstory was today he started pulling out electrical parts, and he's like, he almost didn't pull out the ground first. He's like, oh, don't want to get shocked, idiot. And then later on, he just gets destroyed by a lightning bolt.
Oh yeah, we just cut like it just does a slow zoom in on just his face. His eyes get kind of cloudy as he sees the lightning come, and then we do a flashback. It's very touching. And then just quick zoom back in as he just goes. "Ah!" But nice. So target another stormtrooper then. Go ahead and give me another attack roll.
Second attack.
Not at advantage this time.
26.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah. 11 lightning damage.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, taking a very good chunk out of them at this point, just with the amount of damage. It almost like starts to kind of arc around a little bit, and other people start to get a little bit zapped as it starts to fray away at the enemy crew. Anything else for Granny?
If she has any movement left, she'll just take cover back inside of the ship.
Yeah, you could definitely get back inside and take some cover. They won't have line of sight on you at this point, unless if somebody actively like charges the ship.
Then that is her turn.
Dread, gonna jump back over to you with Moff Renz, Lynn, and the 2 guards that are escorting you all. What do you want to do?
Where does it seem like they're escorting us to at this point? Just back to the office, or?
No, they're still taking you further around the loop. He had mentioned something about the gun. I think I said gun room. They would. I forgot to say it. They would have started just kind of shoving you along a bit more roughly as Renz is starting to power walk, basically, down the hall. Not running though. He's not one for running. It would not do.
Yeah, no. I'll let this play out. For now, I'm gonna let this play out and see what happens.
Alrighty then. Then in that case, we will go to Harry.
Oh, baby. Okay, so first things first. How far apart are each of them, or are they like literally right next to each other kind of thing?
There's kind of a variety. They didn't quite get into proper formation, so there are some areas where there's like 3 of them right next to each other. Others will have like a 10-foot gap.
Okay, so is there
basically whatever configuration you want, you can find it.
Okay, if I was to pick up this one right in front of me and just throw it at 3 of them, and just basically knock them down, is that possible?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. It'll definitely deal less. It would have less potential for damage than your normal attack would, but you could do a little bit of damage and knock some people down and have more of a lingering effect on them.
Yeah, it's more just the knockdown than the damage.
Yeah, totally.
Anything.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
Yeah, just give me a strength check for that,
Strength
I suppose.
check.
Or dex, I guess, whichever one you prefer.
Strength.
I assumed.
An advantage, right?
Yes. For some reason, I couldn't remember if it was strength or just athletics, but yeah.
Oh, buddy. 12.
Unfortunately, the one that you chopped in half didn't really maintain enough of.
Oh no, this wasn't the.
Oh, this was the regular guy who was up. Oh
yeah.
No, you aren't. He just kind of keeps slipping out of your hands. Then you're not quite able to get a grasp on him.
Let me hold on to you. He's gonna try again.
So he still slips through, but you can try again if you want.
Yep, I'm gonna try again.
Yeah, go ahead and let's do another contested check. Athletics this time.
Athletics. 26.
I'm just not going to roll because he can't beat that. So yeah, yeah, you pick this guy up and you just chuck him. Roll me a d6.
3.
All right, yeah. The guys that he hits take 3 points of damage and they just get bowled over and knocked prone, and they've got like a little dog pile going over there.
Perfect. So I'm gonna leave those guys on the ground, and then I'm gonna just move to another one.
All right, nice. So it's over to X2 then. You hear the sound of the top turret on the Mayday just rotate and aiming into the room. And I'm just going to have them roll a dex save as it just opens fire on the people inside. Okay, so...
Oh, Lord.
See. Dex save. I'm going to use a fate point on that one.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Give it back to us.
Oh, boy.
Give it back to us.
That's worse.
Well, if there's a Geneva Convention equivalent in the Star Wars galaxy, we are definitely violating that at this point.
Oh, we've far surpassed that, sir.
The Empire wiped those rules out a while ago. All right, that's let's see, that's I'm just gonna say 30 points of damage to the squad, which is significant for them. So they take that. All right, that's X2's turn. H4. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm still technically inside the Mayday. I guess I'll run outside. I don't know how much movement that takes.
10 feet.
10 feet? Okay, so then I still have 30 feet, and they're 40
You can
feet
definitely
away
get
from the
into
ship.
melee range if you want.
Okay.
Getting
then-
back might be a little tough without focus pointing your way back, but
Sure. Okay. So if I get into melee range with one, are there others around me, or like do I get it?
you can kind of they're at least spread out in a way where if you want to be not, I mean, if you want to have others close by, you can, or you can pick out like a lone target.
Okay, I will pick out a lone target, and then
Yeah, you can definitely get like one of the stragglers off, probably towards like the left side, away from where Harry is, because most of their attention's going the other way.
Okay, yeah, I'll take on a single target at a time.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't think it works any other way for me. The monk
right,
bot
then.
can only take on one guy at a time.
Just one at a time.
Let's see, unarmed strike for a dirty 20,
Yeah, that'll hit.
and that's 8 kinetic damage.
All right, nice. That guy's
Extra-
down. There's
Oh,
another
he's
one
down?
nearby. Yeah, that one's down. You can get to another one that's close by and still maintain that isolation if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Nice. Go for it.
Second fellow, that would be another dirty 20. I'm not rolling my valors
Yeah.
because I know 20 hits. Only 7 kinetic damage for that fellow.
That one is still up, but not looking good.
Okay.
You still got that one close by.
I will use just one follow-up unarmed strike. Slap this fellow around one more time. 23 to hit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's 7 kinetic damage.
Yeah, that brings him down as well. They are between, especially with the cannon fire, they are significantly thinned out at this point. There's maybe 6 troopers left in the room.
I just shout over to Harry. Best friend, am I doing it correctly? I'm not used to being on the front line.
It's beautiful. Keep doing it.
Very nice. And with that, we'll move over to their turn. The very few that are left are clearly panicking, and you can hear them start shouting out, just, fall back, fall back, fall back. And they basically all turn and start trying to run out. Most of them get out, but the 3 that were knocked prone from Harry throwing one of them at them aren't quite able to make it out of the hangar. They're at the door. But they are just trying to turn tail and live to fight under more favorable conditions where there isn't a ship in the hangar pointed cannons at them. But we're going to go ahead and then jump over to where Drawde is, Renz just kind of keeps briskly walking down, leading you along, not getting any communications. He keeps checking on it to see like if anyone will answer, and nothing comes back because of your jammer. And he's like, all right, fine, go and shove them in here. We made it to the room at least. And a door will slide open, and it's the gun room that he had previously mentioned, as they kind of forcibly shove you in. And then they'll try to be like, all right, go and bind them over there. We need to at least get them secure. And unless you do anything to resist, they'll basically just slap your binders around in a way. But you could try to maneuver out of it at this point if you want. Or you want to let them bind you.
Out of it, or perhaps make it so that they are not so tight around the wrists.
Yeah, you can totally do that. Let's go ahead and call that either a deception or a sleight of hand check.
14.
You beat them on that one. They got a 4 on the dice. So they clearly look at each other and they're like, okay, I guess that was tight enough then. This guy's just has low pain tolerance. You hear one, I'm just like, oh, thank God we still install pain receptors in these droid things. Oh, man, thank goodness. And you got these kind of loose. You'll still have to make a check to slip out, but you at least it's now much more of a possibility to be able to do that. Way lower DC.
do I have enough time to look around and be like is this
That'll
is this
be
an
your
armory or is this a gunner room? Okay.
That would be your turn to do the thing.
Okay.
But you could tell it's more of a weapon design room than a proper armory or anything at a glance.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they're doing. R5. You've got a basically empty hangar at this point, other than Harry and a couple of troopers who are almost out. Currently, they'd be far enough away that I think your blaster would be at disadvantage, but you could definitely run up and get within range if you wanted to chase them down.
Yes, I would like to chase him down.
Yeah, you're able to run up into position, and you can go ahead and take that shot if you want.
And oh my god, that's another natural 20.
Yeah. You do it. Yeah, go ahead and roll the damage.
Clearly God wanted you to choose my
For 11 points of damage.
Yeah, one of the ones that was trying to run drops immediately.
Dear God.
The other two are still about to get outside of the hangar.
Granny is gonna walk out of the ship and twin shock again. 26.
Yeah, go ahead and roll the damage on that one.
7 lightning damage.
All right, one of the two drops, just the one left. And you said you're twinning, right? So give me another attack.
Yeah. 13.
13 is going to miss, unfortunately.
You have your valor, no?
Oh, right, you are.
Right, I
you
did valor myself. I completely forgot.
You did valor yourself, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 15.
Their armor class is 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you go ahead and roll the damage.
11 lightning damage.
Yeah, and there they go. That's the last one as you just both hands extend out Palpatine style, just zap. And the two of them just sizzle right in front of R5. One of them kind of falls in his hand like all sizzling and a little bit bloody, just like runs down your side, and you got a bit of a blood streak on you. Not nearly as much as Harry is covered in guts and gore, but you got a little bit of blood. And yeah, with that, all of the enemies in the hangar currently are dead.
5. Can you find a control for the hangar? I need to close the door. We don't want the TIE fighters coming in.
All right, will do. Is there anywhere around me where I can try to plug in?
Yeah, there's a Scomp Link connection point nearby.
Sweet.
If you want to take a little bit more time to get to their whatchamacallit, the control room for the hangar, it would be an easier check, but then you risk a TIE fighter getting inside. So
I would like to not do that, so
okay,
I'll go with the...
just so you know, it's a higher DC, just so you know what the risks are. So yeah, go for the quick one, and...
That'd be a technology check?
Yep, technology check.
A 21.
Very nice. Yeah, you are, with that, you are able to get the doors to start closing. You do hear, coming from outside in space, because in Star Wars, for some reason, there's still sound in space. You hear the iconic scream of a TIE fighter just barreling in towards it. And the doors get just closed enough right as it gets there for the wings to just get sheared off. And the little cockpit goes flying through the gap and just tumbles and just explodes in the corner. And clearly this pilot is not alive inside of what was a cockpit. And the doors finish closing behind you, and the exit to space is now not an exit.
Good to know. And we've already gotten rid of both of our escape pods, so not like we're going anywhere.
Well, they're still in the room. I just don't know how you'd get them back inside your ship, but they're still there, technically.
It's not really what they're made for.
Not usually.
You cannot escape without clearing these ships that look like a butt plug. But first, we need to go find Drawde. He is somewhere alone with a man with an unfortunate name.
And who is probably going to try to kill him if we dally long enough, so let's go.
Yes.
All right. Everybody remembers what he was spitting, right?
We need to go left.
Okay. Harry goes left.
All
right, so just to be clear then, you guys are all exiting the hangar, I assume. Huntail's following you along as well, just keeping with what everybody's doing. see a faint glimpse of Alo exiting the ship in the background, but he's not keeping up. He's somewhere back there. And so
he's double tapping everybody.
Exactly. He's just making sure.
He just squats over the person and a beam of light shoots out of his butthole.
He's getting his workout in. He's working on his glutes and just getting a little.
The one guy with the exceptionally evil aura, he's like, my brother.
No, he'd have to be an alien, and the Empire never hired aliens. They only hire humans for some reason. Is it hired the right word? Is conscripted the right word? Anyway. I mean, well, actually, yeah, you're right. The reason is because they're racist, but so
they're spacist.
They're they're speciesist.
Look, we accidentally got 10,000 of the exact same body armor from Alibaba. We can't. None of these other alien physiologies actually fit this.
That doesn't explain why it's mostly white people, but okay.
Doesn't it though? Doesn't it?
Actually, I think at this point. Well, no, it's the new stuff is changing that a bit. But anyway, so initially you step immediately out of the door going into the hangar, not the hangar bay door, just the door going in and out. And you basically have a, cross intersection right there for you. There's a left that you would figure that goes generally like towards the bridge and towards the engines and stuff at the back of the light cruiser. Going to the right would go towards the front end of the ship, and going straight across would go to the port side of the ship, which you at least would know from your initial recon is where it is docked with the station.
So I was told left, so I'm going left.
Yes, I think that maybe if we control the bridge, then it is a better opportunity for them not to just strangle on the space station and die.
Or we could at least find some way to get a better bead on where Drawde's being held.
Yeah, let's just capture somebody.
All right. So in that case, you guys will turn to the left, start making your way towards the bridge of the ship, keeping your eye out for signs of activity anywhere for you to try to find someone to interrogate.
Yep.
As you start moving that way, we'll jump over to Drawde over in the gun room. You have been, both you and Lynn have been it's kind of that thing where it's like they wrapped around like a pole and like have the manacles on the other side of it. So that way your arms are kind of stuck in place.
I didn't think about this, but these are imperial binders, I presume?
Yeah.
Are they lock and key, or are they like remote lock?
That's a great question. I actually have no idea how imperial binders work. If there's usually a key or not. I guess in A New Hope, you kind of see. Okay, yeah. So I guess why do you ask before I bother figuring out how this works?
I have this wonderful little at-will called on-off.
You sure do.
I do, and I would like to try it on the binders before I try to bother slipping out of them.
A set of binders comes with one key. Without the key, unlocking the binders requires a DC-15 security kit to force open.
Okay. Good to know.
So unfortunately, with these binders, it would not be sufficient just to use your on-off on it.
All right. Well, I will try to slip out of them instead.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a dexterity check, please.
Okay. 5.
Hey.
Yeah, you start resisting, and it's a robot arm, but the part that is where like the thumb joint is clearly still just like getting caught, and you can't quite slip out. And Renz just turns to you, he's like, "What are you doing, you fool? Just leave it be. Now stop talking. Explain what you are doing here."
Isn't enough. I just wanted to come and say hello.
My patience wears thin, Ben. And you see them both turn their blasters on you.
All right. I came here to stop you and, save the galaxy and keep everyone from dying to a massive biological weapon. Is that what you wanted to hear?
How many of your friends did you bring with you?
I didn't bring any of them, but they all volunteered.
You know how they say that fine wines get better with age? You've clearly passed that point and turned to vinegar. All right, men, give him a shot. And one of them blasts at your leg.
Okay.
Yeah, he does hit your leg at least, but it's not gonna be a big thing. It's 5 points of energy damage onto your
ankle. Why the ankle?
Shall we get back to the tour then? This over here would be the cannon that if you were trying to run, I would use to shoot you with. It will be not necessary though. Something as simple as a syringe will do the trick.
Come on, what does it do? Indulge me.
Well, I suppose this way you can know that the rest of your kind will suffer its punishments. Especially that woman that you were fraternizing with back on Dinzo. It found a way to launch actual particles, various microbes from space down at the planet. All I need to do is find whatever planet your friends are hiding on and shoot the disease at them. Would you care to stay around long enough to watch the first test run? Or should I just exterminate you now?
Who hurt you, mate? Like, seriously, man to man.
He just turns and stares at Lynn. She and her kind created the greatest blight this galaxy has ever seen. The greatest threat posed to all of us.
Oh yeah, you got a biological weapon pointed at a planet and I'm a big threat.
Mine is far more targeted. It will deal with exactly who I wanted to deal with. Raised up armies, created beings that were imperfect, ones that could be corrupted and turned into monsters without control that would slowly spread throughout the galaxy. Does that not actually seem like a fitting end for them to you?
Well, not. I'll sit and wait a while.
All right, then. Let's see. Guards, I'm going to send more to help you keep watch over these two. I have things to attend to. And he will turn to walk out of the room and leave you and Lynn there with the two guards. And yeah, let's go ahead and well, actually, first, I guess, what are you going to do from there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and he'll just be like, all right, don't mind me, I'm just gonna have a little tinkle, and he'll swirl himself around the bar and then just his hands behind him shoot fire at the guards.
All right. So let's see, Dex save. Oh, they fail hardcore. Yeah, go ahead and roll the damage.
I'm gonna use the.
That was a 2 on the dice for them. So
I'm gonna also use the. There it is, the explosive amplifier to add to this damage. Because finally I get to use it.
Hey!
So,
sitting on
let's
that
see,
one
3d6 plus equal to your intelligence modifier, which is 5. So yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and roll those.
16 fire damage.
Yeah, these are just pretty standard stormtroopers, and they just light up. It's fairly gruesome, but yeah, they just light up and run around, try to roll, and eventually they just kind of stop moving on the ground.
All right.
Well, that was one way of dealing with them, I suppose.
I mean, we ain't far in the realm of time right now. Otherwise, I would have been a little nicer.
You are correct. I should not be criticizing that which progresses us further.
Now, if you don't mind, and I will translocate myself if I can do that out of the handcuffs?
I would assume so. Yeah.
All right. Just 5 feet to the side.
Yep. You just bamf out because that's a thing you can do.
Yep.
And you are loose of the handcuffs.
Yeah. I will search the stormtroopers for a key if there's anything left. I presume they didn't just. Well, the armor wouldn't just go up in flames.
No, there's still enough to search. Give me an investigation check.
19.
Oh yeah, you're able to find the key that you need pretty easily.
Right, here you are. And they'll just unlock her binders.
All right, nice. Yeah, she just kind of rubs her wrists, like, oh, that is much better. Thank you. Well, I imagine our research is most likely back in that bio lab of theirs.
Aye. But then there's this cannon.
Yeah, and as you point to, I'll describe it a little more. It's it looks like the one in here is kind of a scaled down version of what you're expecting. Its design is somewhat similar to like the massive artillery cannons that you would see on a Star Destroyer, for instance. But you can tell that there's quite a few modifications to the actual energy like kind of component of it. Looks like where normally you'd put in like a power cell in a blaster to fire it, that it has more of kind of like a chamber to put like a little, not a syringe, but like a tube of some kind where it would actually be able to kind of pull and sort of vaporize a fluid and make it into a projectile of sorts.
So this would be like not quite a hand cannon version of it, but like...
Yeah. This is like a small test version, and clearly you see that there are plans scattered around that are designs on how they would scale it up once they were sure it worked on a smaller scale.
How big is this again? The
current one is probably 8 feet long.
Oh yeah, I'm not moving that.
Not with any ease, no.
Is there are there any syringes sitting around the room?
Not at the moment. You do see a couple empty vials that had something in it, but no syringes.
Got it.
Yeah, they've been placed back into like little test tube holders off to the side.
So, yeah, it seems like we got 2 major threats. One definitely more directly to me, and yeah, then there's the big existential one.
So it would seem.
I don't know, did you see anything useful to you in that testing chamber?
Well, if they have been working with specifically the disease that we are trying to eradicate, then perhaps anything that they have found would be of use. It's also possible that they found my research in amongst the data and have been utilizing it for their own means. So anything that they have discovered over there has... The Empire is at least good at documenting the things that they do. So it would be well worth recovering whatever they have.
All right. And he'll switch from jamming back over to communications and... All
right. You open up the lines again.
Transmit to... He's going to transmit to R5.
Okay. Yeah, R5, you hear his voice coming through clearly over the line.
R5, I've managed to infiltrate the space station. They're planning to launch a bioweapon into a planet.
And there you have another thrilling session of Starships and Scoundrels. Remember to subscribe and tune back in next week to see what else may happen to the crew of the Mayday. If you don't want to wait quite that long, go ahead and check out the channel, because we have tons of other videos about RPGs, board games, video games, movies, pretty much everything nerdy under the sun. Thanks as always for watching, and may the Force be with you.
That whole conversation, it kind of felt to me like, do you remember in Community where Troy and Abed were being detectives? And they're both trying to get the last word. It kind of felt like they're just like, we can't both have the last word.
Yeah, yeah.